Hey y'all, it's Ryan. And today I am so excited because my first author research was just featured in the media for the very first time. So I wanted to talk to you about the behind the scenes of how universities promote research in the media and how you can find your own opportunities as well. So if you're a rising undergrad or grad student, I hope that this can clarify some of how the media stuff works, and I'll be clear about the places where I'm also still learning. So I'll start by talking about my experience, then mention my advisor's experience with bigger media like the New York Times, and then I'll end with what you can do if you're either trying to get your own research out there or give a quote for a specific topic. And if you have any tips or advice besides what I'm saying here, please feel free to drop them in the comments. So at Rice, it all starts when we have a new paper coming out that someone, either us or the media team, thinks might be appealing for media organizations. And in my case, this paper was just about to be published, and that's really the best timing to work with university media relations. So I feel really grateful for our media team at Rice, and especially Amy, thank you, because they really care about preparing us to speak with reporters. And it isn't a built-in part of the program, but it's available if you know who to ask. So my first tip is if you're a graduate student doing research, find out about what media training might be available at your university. Once we know that we want to publicize a paper, the next step is for the university media team to write a press release and go back and forth with the authors to make sure that it represents the research really well. So you can see the press release for my paper from Rice here. And because this was a collaboration with Dr. Lisa Christian at The Ohio State University, they also put out a press release from that institution. And the press release just tells the main takeaways from the work and offers several quotes that media organizations can pull for their own coverage. And then we wait. In this case, we very quickly got a call from a Telemundo reporter who wanted to do a video interview. And because I don't speak Spanish, I worked with our media team to prep a Spanish-speaking member of our team in our lab who did an awesome job discussing the research. And this was overall a whirlwind experience for both of us. And for me, it was because we did the Zoom interview right as I was preparing to leave for the airport for my best friend's wedding. But from what I've heard, this is the norm. So reporters want a fast turnaround. And so if you really want to share your research as widely as possible, then you've got to go ahead and just jump on whenever it's possible. And like I said, I really want to share this research, so I couldn't possibly turn down the opportunity. So that TV interview aired, and then I didn't really hear much more about it until I was trying to get a link to the interview to share with our co-authors, and ultimately Amy, our awesome media person, told me that our research had actually been covered by about 27 different media organizations, including Yahoo. So you can see an article here, and they're really just pulling from that press release that was put out by Rice, which again, I didn't know before this experience. So tip number 2, if you're sharing your work to the public, you really want to have 2 or 3 main takeaways that are easy and quick enough to say, because those will be what is included in a press release and then shared through the media. Coming up with the most clear words to use can really be the hardest part of the whole process, especially for me, because you've put years of work into this. It's a very long paper, there's lots going on, and you want to convey it in 2 or 3 really short points that drive whatever your main conclusions and takeaway home. All right, so that's the journey that I experienced from publishing a paper to promoting it in the media. But that isn't the only way that you can do this. So for example, my advisor is proactively sought out for interviews or quotes on topics that are related to his research. So most recently, he was quoted in this New York Times article about the biology of grief, which is something our lab cares a lot and does a lot of research about. So it probably isn't surprising that if you're already well established as an expert in the field, that people will ask you for your thoughts on a topic, right? But what about for those of us who don't have reporters calling us up yet? This is where tip number 3 comes in. Search out the stories that are being written so that you can actually contact the reporters yourself. So for people looking to get their foot in the door with media stuff, make sure to focus on what specific topics you could speak to. And then keep your eyes out for reporters mentioning that they're doing a story on Twitter, because they often ask for people who can speak to a certain experience or line of research. In addition, you can subscribe to the Help a Reporter Out website that pairs reporters and sources. So if you sign up, then you'll get emails a few times a day that tell you exactly what stories reporters are writing and maybe even the outlet. So here's what an email from Help a Reporter Out looks like. You can see there are plenty of opportunities. You just need to watch out for the one that suits you the best. All right, y'all, that's all for today. Let me know in the comments if this is helpful and if you have any other questions after watching this video. So as always, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends to support my channel.